Okay, back with part 6 of section 9.1. So here it says, if a chemist mixed a 10% hydrochloric acid solution with a 60% hydrochloric acid solution to get 25 liters of a 40% hydrochloric acid solution, how many gallons of a 10% and a 60%, well, it should be liters. They wrote this wrong apparently. This should be liters, or that should be gallons, but we'll go with liters because that's more scientific, of 10% and 60% HCl solutions were mixed. All right. So what do we need to have here? Let's say let X equal the 10% HCl, and let's let Y equal the 60% HCl. Okay. Well, then what do we know? And these are in, I guess we'll say this is in liters, and we'll call this in liters. Again, because we decided not to do gallons. All right, so if we take X plus Y, we should get 25. Because it says we add those two together, we get a total of 25 liters. Now we have to find the concentrations. So what is the X concentration? And we have to put this in decimal form. So that's going to be 0.1 times X plus 0.6 times Y equals, now our total solution was 40%, so it's going to be 0.4 times 25. Okay. All right, the only thing we really have to do here is we have to multiply here. So 4 times 25 is 100. If we move the decimal place, we just get a 10. And so this becomes 0.1x plus 0.6y equals 10. Now, we could do several things. We could go ahead and get rid of decimals here and add and subtract as accordingly. Or we could say, well, x is equal to a negative y plus 25 by subtracting y on both sides, and then taking this and plugging it in here, which is what I'm going to do. So what that gives me is 0.1 times negative y plus 25, and then plus 0.6y equals 10. So 0.1 times that's going to be negative 0.1y, and then 0.1 times that, that's going to give me a 2.5, and then that's plus 0.6y, and that's equal to 10. Well, I can subtract my 2.5 here, and then I can add or subtract, depending on how you want to look at it, those two. 0.6 minus 0.1, that's going to be 0.5. And 10 minus that, that's going to give me 7.5. Now divide by 0.5. And so y is equal to, basically it's going to be multiply that by 2, because divide by half or multiply by 2, so that's going to give me 15. And we're talking about liters, so it's going to be 15 liters of y is 60% HCl. Well, if y is 15, we know the total is 25, so that must mean x is equal to 10 liters of the 10%. Okay, so that would be my two values. Now, does that make sense? Well, here I'm going to add the two together equals 25, so it checks that equation. Now, what about this equation? So 0.1 times x, which is 10, plus 0.6 times y, which is 15, and that's equal to, well, that's just 10. So 10 times that, that's going to be 0.1, and then we have 15 times 0.6, and so that's going to be, 30, and that's going to be 9 point, so, oh, that's not 0.1, it's 0.1. Ha, move only one place, not two. All right, I was like, whoa, we are off by a factor here. So that's 1 plus, and then we get our 9, and that's equal to 10, so 10 equals 10. So that works. So I have to remember I'm just moving one decimal, not two on that one. And so we have then 15 liters of 60% HCl mixed with 10 liters of 10% HCl will give us 25 liters of 40% HCl. All right, what about this one? Here we have a Jeep and a BMW enter a highway running east to west. So we're going to have some kind of a road going, this direction. and at the same exit heading in opposite directions. So somewhere we're having some kind of entrance ramp and one's going one way, one's going the other way. The Jeep entered the highway 30 minutes before the BMW did and traveled 7 miles per hour slower than a BMW. After 2 hours from the time the BMW entered the highway, the cars were 306.5 miles apart. Find the speed of each car, assuming they were on cruise control. All right, so we know what? We know that the whole distance is 306.5. Now, let's say we don't know the rate. So remember, this is going to be kind of a distance equals rate times time, because we know the distance, we have some times, and they're going some rate. And so we have to kind of have all the distances and rates together. So let's say x is equal to the rate of the Jeep. Okay. And so then y is going to be the rate of the BMW. Okay. Now, if we put this in terms of r, well, then we'll say, well, that's equal to r. But then what is y equal to? Well, this one is going 7 miles per hour slower. So that means the BMW is going 7 miles per hour faster. So we can call that r plus 7. So that's kind of our x and our y values. Okay. And so, how long did we go? The BMW only went for 2 hours. So if we call this one the BMW and this one the Jeep, this one went for 2 hours because after 2 hours from the time the BMW entered the highway, they were that far apart. But the Jeep went 30 minutes earlier, so that's half an hour longer. So this one went for 2.5 hours. Okay, so we know that time, we have our rates. Now initially what it's going to be is, it's going to be 2.5 times x plus 2 times y is equal to, and then that's distance time times the rate times the time, and that's going to be a distance. And that's going to be a rate times the time, and that's going to be a distance. And our total is 306.5, and that's a distance. Now what we're going to do is we're going to substitute our values in that we changed it to. So that's going to be 2.5 r plus 2 times r plus 7. And that's equal to 306.5. So all we did was we converted our x's and our y's to the r's. Now we could have said, well, this was just x plus 7, but since we're doing rates and times, I decided to go ahead and put that to r's and make it a little better. And so we have 2.5r plus 2r plus 14 equals 306.5. And so now we have those two we can add together and get 4.5r. Now if we subtract 14, that's not 44, it's just a 14. And so then that equals, that's a 0.5, and that's a 2, and that's a 9, so it's a 292.5 divided by 4.5. So the rate, or which is x for the Jeep, and that's going to be equal to 292.5 divided by 4.5, if I remember right, 65 miles per hour. So the rate is 65 miles per hour for the Jeep, and the BMW is R plus 7, and so that's going to be 7 more, so it's going to be 72 miles per hour for the BMW. Okay, so that's our two speeds, and that's what they wanted. Actually, yeah, speed of each car. And so that's our two speeds, and now what we have to do is see if that works out. And so we're going to take 2.5 times 65 plus 2 times 72, and it should be 306.5, which it is. And so therefore, those both work. Okay. And that's the end I have of section 9.1.